have you been? Welcome back. Oh, boy. Welcome to the Eric Zane Show podcast, a daily show where I discuss news, nonsense, and my personal adventures each and every day of the work week. Okay. Memorial Day in the books. Sun beaming in. Burning my eye. Ah, my God. It's going to be like close to 90 degrees today. So why in the hell am I wearing a hooded sweatshirt? That's because it says more trees, less assholes. How fantastic is that? Public service announcement from your friends in Grayling, where, of course, Fear Bunker North is. More trees, less assholes. So what they're saying there is you get into the wilderness, you have less chance of running into an asshole. I guess, but the last time I almost got into a fist fight, that was in Grayling a couple years ago. Forgot the idiot's name. Don? Dave? Might have been Dave. It took place when up at Fear Bunker North, I get a phone call. I'm lost. It's Queen of the Forest. She drove short way up north, further north, to another town called Gaylord to, I don't know, pick something up, buy something at a Walmart or something. And then she's coming back, and the next thing she says, I'm lost. I'm like, how can you be lost? You just followed the GPS. She goes, I know. The GPS, for some reason, put her onto someone's private property. It's fucked up. I guess it went the shortest route possible. And the thing about that community is sometimes roads that were public roads, small little 2-track roads, can eventually become private property. So she's driving where it says, do not enter. Achtung, do not enter private property. And she drives right in. And it's all sand everywhere. She goes to the bottom of a hill, cannot get up it. And it's all fucked up. So I see her on the GPS. I take it back. I didn't see. I hit the Find My app, and I go, well, I think I know generally where you are. So I wander over there, and I approach a gate. It says like it's gated off this road. And I go, well, and the only thing that's there is some guy's house, a driveway, some guy's driveway. I go, well, it says you're right over there, but I don't know how that is. Yeah, I came in the other way. I go, honk your horn. And I can hear it, what amounts to like 100 yards away. So I walk in because I can't drive in. And there she is, her in the NFK. We can't get the car up the hill. So we drive it over to where I park mine, where that gate is. And I try to drive around the gate, and it's not working. All of a sudden, some guy pulls up in the truck and goes, hey, what's going on? Yeah, my wife, I explained what happened. Okay. Oh, all right. Well, maybe if you do this, maybe if you do that. I don't know. The guy who's got the house there, he comes walking up and he's like, yeah, what happened? Oh, yeah. And I explained what happened. And 5 minutes goes by. Well, maybe if you do this, maybe if you do that. Little do I know, they're just watching me squirm. They're doing this on purpose. Maybe if you, I don't know, maybe if you dig a little, maybe if you drive around, maybe if you, you got any cardboard to put under the tires? I don't know. And then the guy goes, how about if I just get the key and unlock it and you can drive through? And I go, yeah, that would be awesome. Thank you for that. And then he starts laying into her and people who drive on his property. This is private property. So he's now turned. He was just fucking with me. This is the way hillbillies do it. He was fucking with me. And he starts in, and he's bitching and moaning and bitching. And I go, all right, I now see the game. I'm going to let him get this out. Let's try to de-escalate. And I said, yeah, I know, man. I don't know what to tell you. All I can tell you is that we were over there, and we heard she texted me and said she's lost. She wandered onto your property. So how come she can't read? He says. And I'm like, okay. Now I'm like, now we're going from green to a strong yellow into the orange when you're suggesting my wife's stupid. How come she can't read? And I'm like, dude, I don't know. She can read. I think, I'm trying to, and he's still going on and on and on. And then finally my dad, 87 at the time, he goes, hey, we don't need a lecture. I'm like, oh boy. So now it's a little bit more of a contested thing here. I thought we could just get away. The NFK's in the back seat. And he starts like rocking and talking out loud. And I'm like, oh boy. No, he starts the rocking and talking out loud. And I'm like, oh shit, this is turning south quick. And the guy continues to bitch and bitch and bitch. And then finally he says something about being stupid. He goes, how stupid do you have to be? Or something like that. And I go, all right, that's it. Slam the fucking door. And I go walking up to him. I go, hey, enough. I get it. And then the first dude, he butts in as I'm getting in the guy who unlocked the gate's face. And he goes, all right, fuck this. Close the fucking gate. You can't get through now. And his wife, she goes, now come on now. She's like getting him away because he's like charging at me like a Brahma bull. Charity Scam Mike lights up a Newport. He goes, all right. And I'm just going to kick back and enjoy this. And I get in the guy's face. I'm still bitching at him. And he goes, yeah, I'm just saying. I go, you've said enough. And I'm actually doing like hand talking. You've said enough. Enough. I get it. It was kind of like stand down mode after that. You know? A couple of pissed off dogs screaming at each other. And gate's now open. They didn't close it on us. Thank God, or we'd still be there. Get the fuck out of there. Get the fuck you. Oh. Yeah, that's the hand gesture when you're like, you're talking too much. Too much. That'll piss you right off. So we did encounter an asshole there. There's also plenty of other assholes. It says more trees, yes, less assholes. So overall, there's probably less assholes, but you can get 2 to 3 to 4 assholes in a row in this neck of the woods. Like the people that live near me, you know, the amount of shit on their property in the front yard, it tells me that there's a lot of assholes. I try to avoid those people. But nevertheless, there we were in an unbelievably successfully great time up at Fear Bunker North. And it dawned on me that the only thing to do really is to wake up, drink coffee, putz around, and eat. That is all. There are no activities. We don't have side-by-sides. We don't have fucking ATVs. We don't have motorcycles. Nothing. Nothing at all. All we have is sit around by the fire and get fat and watch Mike get hammered. Charity Scam Mike. And that's just what we did. And I think that we are at a point now where the amount of time spent when I got up there Thursday, head back out Monday, that's like that's like just long enough, maybe half a day too long. The amount of people that we had there, we had 5 people brought their travel trailer, fifth wheels, motorhomes, and plus the old trailer. That's six units that are there. 20 people, 10 dogs. The reason why we have so many, of course, is because Charity Scam Mike's dad decided he wanted to sell that property that was 1.5 miles away, which the group was then divided, no longer divided. Now we're all up close and personal, and I love it. I had a great time. The first night we were there, it got down to like 28 degrees. Can you believe that shit? 28. Couple of things that stand out to me, though. They, 20 people and only 1 injury. By the way, I was not hurt. I operated the chainsaw. No injuries to report. I had my chainsaw cutting shoes, also known as Crocs. And I know what you're going to say. Eric, why do you keep making the same mistakes and wearing Crocs when you're cutting wood? Well, look, let me just tell you. If a chainsaw chain/blade hits your foot, it's not really going to matter what you're wearing. These actually still have, these are the ones, look at that. That's where the chainsaw went into the croc right there and into my foot. I still wear the same ones. Oh, that was brutal, dude. My God. Tyler says you're going to Vagel if you keep it up. That's true. I'm more likely to Vagel these days because of what happened to me the first time. All right. Charity Scam Mike, he had this piece of wood that he was carrying to put behind like my shed. And he's walking with it and he's just going to throw it. And I don't know how he managed to do it because my back was turned. But I heard like the impact of the wood hitting something, maybe the shed. And then I hear, oh! And he's bent over. And I go, did you hurt yourself, Mike? Yeah, I'm fine. I think. I go, what the? And I look and he's got blood on his head. It's pouring out of his head. In his hand. I go, what the I go, come here. Come here, you asshole. He threw this big fucking 4x4 that I had cut, and it hit like the shed or a tree, and it just bounced back, and it didn't get much. He didn't even throw it that far out of his hands. And then after it traveled like 3 inches, it's like he threw it into something which caused it to bounce right back and hit him in the face. Right in the head, right above the eyebrow. And I'm like, oh, my God, this is just fantastic. I'm so glad this happened to you. Come here. So I sit him down in the camper, and I wash it off. Tyler says, was it a boomerang? And I put peroxide on it. He goes, I'm not helpless. I'm not like the NFK. I go, shut up. Shut up. This is my calling. Neosporin, butterfly strips, good to go. All right, now go, get back out there, clean up my shit. Oh man, and so that was the one injury. He was not done though. This was the scenario that happened. He woke up on the we got up there Thursday, so Friday morning he wakes up and he wants to make his family some breakfast. And he's frying the bacon on like a griddle outside of the of his camper. Fast forward. This is no injury. This is just stupid. A couple hours later, O'Neill, where are you? O'Neill, where are you? And he's in the woods. Oh, come on. Get out of there. He doesn't want to come. Finally get him out of there. As soon as I turn my back, he goes back there. And then I'm like, Now I know how Mike operates. And I see how O'Neill loves that spot. And I know Mike was making bacon earlier. So my first thought was he took the bacon grease and threw it in the woods. And I go, Mike, yeah. He's by the fire, drinking whatever, peanut butter whiskey, which that's a thing. Peanut butter whiskey. I forgot what it's called. It's called Slam Dunk or Brahma Bull. Kick in the head. Screwball, that's it. Why did I think Brahma Bull? Peanut butter whiskey. There it is. I go, Mike, did you take the bacon drippings and just pitch it into the woods? Yeah. And I said, why did you do that? Well, I did it when the dogs weren't looking. And I swear to God, that's what he said. This is the logic behind it. Okay, I'm going to wait till the dogs aren't looking. And Chris writes, Bear Country dumped the bacon grease behind the camper. Exactly. Forget the dogs. What about the bears? Jesus. And the thought process of, okay, I've got the bacon grease. I could just let it solidify and scoop it into the garbage. And because we end up burning the garbage anyway. I'm like floored at this. Holy shit. And I go, they weren't looking. And I said to him, I go, well, yes, but yeah, it's a good thing dogs don't have like a very keen sense of smell. And it's a good thing that this isn't like the one thing that a dog will kill for, bacon. It's a damn good thing those aren't factors in this equation here. Holy shit. I'm like, how? And then O'Neill is like, because the bacon grease has, it's landed on a bunch of different leaves and in the ground. So he sticks his nose to the ground and he's licking the ground and all of the leaves are touching his face. So now his face is shiny. His entire face is shiny. Looks like a black guy that went down on Amanda. Oh, no. Oh, no. Shots fired. Like a he looks like a Krispy Kreme donut. So I'm like, fuck me, Mike, come on. So then he gets some dirt and dumps it on it. That doesn't stop anything. Fast forward, he brings him a bunch of fish. We have a fish fry, perch and walleye. The fish is in a cooler. And the water inside of that cooler is loaded with like fish disease. Like later on, he like doesn't dump it out a day later. And it smells like fuck. And what does he do? He just dumps it right in the grass. Within seconds, an actual mushroom cloud of flies comes flying in and just descends on that spot. It was like fucking biblical, the amount of flies. And I'm like, what? Why the fuck does this keep happening? What are you doing? It's not like you're a rookie camper, for God's sake. This isn't anything new to you. He wasn't done. The hits keep on coming. Mike, Charity Scam Mike, he borrowed a dude's motorhome. The next time he goes up, he's going to have a travel trailer that is going to be permanently there on the property. But it's not quite ready for prime time yet. And so that's going to be up there in a couple of weeks. So he brought this friend's motorhome up. Chris says, oh, my God, he's trying to get the Bears to come out. Exactly. And then we're seated there, and he says, hey, before I leave, I was wondering if I could just open the gray and the black water and just dump it onto the property. And now that is absolutely a cardinal sin. That's punishable by death. And I look at him, and I'm like, now what I want to do is just punch him right in the face. But I go, hey, no, I don't think that that's a good idea. He goes, well, I go, you mean the black? I said, you mean the gray water? He goes, yeah, well, it's just soapy water. And I go, yeah, I don't think that's a good idea. And then later on, same thing about the black water. And he goes, it's just pee. And I go, yeah, no, don't do that. Do not do that. And then he referenced later on that he's going to be driving down the road, and he's going to open that thing up and just drive and let the tank empty into like on the side of the road. And I go, dude, I think that's really bad. I definitely do not want you to do that anywhere. The only place that's what is in those holding tanks, the only place that should wind up is in the ground in like a dump station. Josh says, shaking my head, you wonder why the father sold the other property out from under him. Well, I was thinking the same thing for a second there. And I go, yeah, Mike, I don't know if it's because you're drinking Screwball or something, but this is a horrible idea. The next day, my stepsister Elizabeth, I go, hey, can you do me a favor and make sure that your husband does not decide to just dump it out on the side of the road or anywhere but the dump station. Okay. And she was mortified at the thought of this. And I go, well, thank God. And I go, yeah. And she goes, that will not happen. I go, thank Christ. I go, thank you. I have very few rules, but this is an absolute backbreaker decision if it goes the way I don't want it to. That would be we would no longer be family members. And I'd probably have to murder somebody. The property will not be sullied by what is inside of any camper. So then I'm like, oh shit, that is a hard and fast rule. My God. So I made it a point to make sure that everybody left the property before I did. I had to be the last one to leave. Nick says, he sounds like a real cousin Eddie. Kenny says that's what you do when you have some a-hole behind you tailgating. Yeah, maybe, but these are all things that you have to kind of like open the valve from outside, so it just wouldn't work. I don't even know, because Donut Dance's Dave Matthews Band stuff. Dave Matthews Band that stuff. I don't know of any type of RV that you can just push a button and the thing opens up. I still don't know how that even happened when that happened in Chicago, when they dumped the fucking thing over the drawbridge down onto the boat with the open top below them. My God. So thank God he didn't do that. But I was like, dude, yeah, everything's fine. Everything's fair game around here. My place is your place. But I am drawing a hard line in the sand. If one drop of your toxic waste leaves your unit and winds up on my property, that is a cause for some type of, shunning permanently, never to be seen again. You've already dumped the bacon grease and the fish guts. What the fuck? Shoo. But all in all, I love him dearly. We had a spectacular time. And 10 dogs, 20 people, 10 dogs. And no memory of mine have there ever been that many people there at one time. Maybe many, many moons ago, decades ago. And we had some people that didn't show up. Like the NFK didn't show up. Jesus. Stress Ball Jim's mom didn't show up. I think there's a couple more maybe. Anyway, but all in all, a good time. Thank you for your patience. Of course, I was away from you on Friday and Monday, but still plenty of stuff to listen to. That new free trial turned out to be a hit. Patreon just launched a 7-day free trial. And right at about the same time that I dropped Who Are These Free Beers? And a lot of people took advantage of that, and you should. If you're new to Patreon, or if you've never tried Patreon, that 7-day free trial is fantastic. You can check out all of the shows. I put up a lot while I was gone. I had a couple editions, 2 or 3 editions of Something to Listen to while I was away. Also, Who Are These Free Beers? Who Are These Zanes? The Ben and Eric Patreon podcast, Lost Zane Recordings, Insane Asylum. All of that went up on Patreon, and you can check that out for 7 days. You do have to put in a payment form, which after the 7 days, it will charge you. But it's very, very simple to cancel that. Just don't forget, Or if you're like, oh, I love this, let it charge me. That's totally up to you. But I make that, I like to say that up front so that nobody thinks I'm trying to pull a fast one on them, for God's sake. But thank you. Thank you for that, for those folks that are checking the show out. On that 7-day freebie, you go to patreon.com/Eric Zane, patreon.com/Eric Zane. For those of you that are enjoying the show on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, I appreciate you so much for checking this out. But the rest of the show is available free on Twitch. Twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live, or download the Twitch app and search Eric Zane Live, all one word. And you are good to go, and you can get the show in its entirety. You follow me on Twitch so you know when I go live. And then you'll have to root around for it, but it says sign up with Amazon Prime. There's like a red button there when you go to twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live. Easiest to do it on your desktop or laptop. And then link up your Amazon Prime account, and then you hit the subscribe button. This is a lot. I'm sorry. And then you will avoid any commercials while I am live on Twitch. I'm very, very close to 1,000 followers on Twitch. So I think we're just a handful short and just a couple, 2 away from getting back to 200 subscribers on Patreon. It's been a war of attrition from the high point of 455 when I started podcasting 4.5 years ago. And then people were like, I'm out. And then I had the big Zaniac exodus. Oh, my God, the pain. But lately it's been popping back. So I'm very, very happy about that, trying to get back. Once we get to 200, then the next goal will be half of my all-time high of 455, which I guess would be what? 227? 228, somewhere around there. Yeah. Building it back. So that's awesome. Very, very happy. $5 or $10 a month if you want to sign up on Patreon. So if you ever want to email me on the Shoreliner Striping inbox, eric@ericzaneshow.com. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns about anything at all that I'm doing, maybe a suggestion, I would love that. And once again, the show originates from the Baldwin Ace Hardware Fear Bunker Studio. Josh writes, I swear, Eric Zane, you posted more content over this holiday weekend than that, quote, other show has posted this entire year. Well, you know, I guess every show's different. Thank you for checking this one out. And I'll say goodbye now to you if you're on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. There you go.